Night photography can be like poetry. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. When you have a good night and things come together in a random way that make images that you could never ever repeat again, you know, that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us going out night after night, hanging out under the stars and making images.
Night photographs record time and record the world in a way that we can't perceive with our own senses. Time is compressed, and it's almost like shooting a film and the camera jams and the entire film is shot on a single frame of film, so that one photograph may represent 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 6 hours. When night photography is really most successful, that's when this transformation occurs during the exposure, and you end up with something that is just so special and unique that you couldn't have imagined it if you tried.
Lance and I have each taught photography workshops independently for about 15 years, but we've been teaching these together for about 3.
It's just such a much more rewarding experience to have a partner to work with. Especially when we see eye to eye on so many things, but have different perspectives at the same time. In our night photography workshops, we have a broad range of students or participants, but the ultimate goal is to introduce people to a new way of seeing and open up new creative possibilities for them. Terlingua is such a unique place. There's all kinds of human structures and creations in various states of construction and decay that make for wonderful subjects to photograph. So talking about night photography in the abstract is very different from actually doing it. When you get out into the field and start to work with your equipment and in the low light levels, it becomes obvious right away that it's different from photographing in the daytime. In that regard, working with people one-on-one in the field is a good way for them to kind of ease into it and get comfortable looking at the world at night and thinking about it photographically.
Working at night requires you to really think differently about what you're doing. The exposures are so long that you've really got to think about what's going to happen during the exposure. If you've got stars in your frame, how are they going to move? Are they going to spiral, or are they going to move diagonally? And you also want to think about where you want to add light, if you're adding light, and how you want to do it. Light painting is perhaps the most expressive way that photographers can put their own hand into an image. It usually involves moving a flashlight very slowly up and down and back and forth over the object. I sometimes spend several hours in one location, if not the entire night, just getting to know that scene and figuring out how to paint it. Once you feel like you've really got the lighting to where you want it to be, then that's usually time to just step away and let the stars burn in for a few hours. There's an old mine that has a horizontal shaft or a horizontal drift that you can actually walk into as opposed to descending down into on a cable or rope. So the Via della Mina mine is a location that we like to go to every year. People just naturally and organically end up working together on certain projects. So to be out on location and working with somebody, you know, talking out the light painting, talking out the composition, sharing your ideas and listening to their ideas is a really great part of the process. It's a really gorgeous composition there. This might be...
The next morning when we were reviewing images, it's just amazing to see the incredible variety of images that people come up with. The long exposures give us that opportunity to light photographs uniquely and differently each time you make an exposure. The images captured in camera are really just a starting point. They're digital negatives, if you will, that can be developed and expressed in many different ways. You know, our job as workshop instructors is to help people see the different possibilities of what can be done with the images that they've created.
Night photography is a really good opportunity to think radically differently about the work that you do, and it forces you to think about why you do what you do and why you make the images that you make. I hope that this gives people an opportunity to embrace their creative process and take it to the next level.